You're joining us today from
You're joining us today from a bench in Berlin.
Yeah.
We've taken time away from the gym and the madness to sit in the fuckhole of nowhere to record a digital interaction in person in Berlin.
Yeah, that works.
So welcome to, can we even call this a digital interaction if we're not digital?
But
I guess they're watching it digitally. Our first in-person digital interaction here in Berlin with Randy, aka number 3. And I think, I want to apologize in advance because if we had have thought ahead of this, you could have been number 3, but I think you're gonna be like number 11.
Okay.
But thanks for joining me here in Berlin.
Thanks for having us.
Us? You and all your personalities.
You know, we're working on that.
Yes, we are. We are actively working on that. So we're almost 2 years in.
Yeah.
What a ride, eh?
Not what I was expecting.
No. I think that the best place to start is if we think about Randy. We're coming up on the 2-year mark pretty much bang on. So if you think about Randy this time 2 years ago, how would you describe yourself, your life, what it looked like and what you're up to?
I didn't know a lot of answers. I had questions I didn't know I had questions about that I've learned. So
you weren't even looking for the answers, you were actually just looking for, you didn't even know that the questions were there?
Exactly. Isn't that weird? I thought I was in a good place, but my life was changing as we go through different stages of our lives. And I just didn't feel like I was doing enough for me.
Okay.
So I could lose weight, but I couldn't keep it off. I could work out, but I never kept to it. I needed a system. Saw what Dave Kennedy was doing online. Obviously, when you're in cybersecurity, he's one of the people that you just naturally come to follow. And he mentioned this guy, Ben. I'm like, who the fuck?
The fuck's this guy?
Yeah. So he posted that you were doing this online thing. So I set up a call, and I don't get nervous about talking to people, but I was a little nervous coming up to this. I'm like, what am I going to say? Because I don't know what I'm doing. This guy's a fitness instructor. He's going to have all these questions about how you work out. And very much like how I do an interview with somebody, we just had a conversation. And it was just like, hey, what do you do? And then an interesting thing happened. After we talked, I felt a pull to do it. Signed up, and I actually brought it with me to show you, but I didn't bring it with me here. I still have the postcard you sent me.
Okay.
I was moving some stuff when I moved into a new house, and I actually kept it. I don't know why I kept it.
Romantic.
Thank you. But it talked about being on a journey, and that's what this is. It's I didn't have a community. Now I have a community. I didn't know I needed a community. Consistently under 205 pounds for over a year. I was about 240 when I started. I'd been heavier. Consistency. So maybe we're just going to go with C words here.
I think we're probably limited to the ones that we can say on camera.
Yeah. We'll move on.
Okay, so you mentioned journey. I think even when I wrote that postcard, I probably couldn't have predicted the journey that you and I specifically would go on.
No.
So talk about that. Like, talk about how the milestones for you over the past 2 years, like things that you have been pivotal for you as the realizations, actually knowing that there are questions and then actively trying to find the answers to the questions.
So onboarding is interesting. You think you're getting a coaching experience where once a month or more you're going to interact over a video chat. You're going to get weekly check-ins. You're going to participate that way. And then all of a sudden on your calendar you get this call that shows up for us every Wednesday. And I'm like, oh God, another meeting. it's the only meeting of the week that I really look forward to. It is a community. It is a group of people that's there for each other. You call it BC Fam. It is an extension of my family. And we can talk about that in a minute. I don't normally rely on people outside my inner circle. I now have more people in my inner circle.
Just a bigger inner circle.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to be texting with a guy I met a year ago in Ireland who lives in Germany, who flew halfway around the world to come to my birthday party on a regular basis. I was expecting this, I gotta go to the gym. But through the journey, I've really been able to realize I get to go to the gym. Once you put your past in front of you, those experiences, and you say, this is what I get to do because of what I've lived through. And you've helped me realize that. I think for me, the biggest, I don't want to say change, realization that this was something bigger than anything I ever thought was Colorado. So I was a young, anxious kid. I didn't go to a summer camp. I didn't want to like experience something I didn't know. I like to know everything. I want the agenda. I want, give me the syllabus. I'll do well in the class. I just want to know up front. Buy a ticket, get on a plane, go to Colorado.
Meet us in Colorado. No specifics of exactly where, just in Colorado on this day.
And by the way, you don't get the address of where we're staying. You just trust in the process. Landed in Colorado. Luckily I had a friend there, so spent an afternoon catching up. And then all of a sudden on Discord I get an address. And I show up and there's people I've seen on the call. There's other people that I've never met. And we're all just hanging out in this big ass driveway of this big ass house. And Ben saying, not yet, can't go in yet. I'm like, what did I get myself into? I'm not comfortable, but yet I'm enjoying talking to these people. I think that we all are in similar or adjacent industries. It helps. Get inside. You're not only a great coach, you are a fantastic event organizer.
Get that from mom, for sure.
Yeah, Trish has a big part to play in this. House is all decorated, everything's ready to go. There's a videographer with us. I'm like, I don't want to be on camera. And there had been the Nashville event earlier in the year. I didn't go because I had just had elbow surgery and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But Tyler and others looked at me and said, don't worry about the camera, you'll get used to it. Still not quite used to it, but it's there.
They laughed.
And then I go to a room and, I get a bunk bed. I'm like, 49 friggin' years old, I'm gonna sleep in a bunk bed. And it just works. Everybody wants to be there. And the little details and everything just work out.
Colorado specifically, I will say that you've always went all in, regardless of if you believed in the thing or not. Like, you were always willing to give it a go. So we video called Sean in and we did some breath work, and you were less than enthused to do it, let's say.
So 8:30 wake up call, sitting in the living room in a chair, and this guy from Ireland gets on, who I'd never heard about. I guess I should have read more of the the onboarding. Says we're going to breathe for 45 minutes. How do I get out of this? But everyone's sitting there. It would have been a scene. All right. So we start breathing, and where we're doing the conscious connected breathing. And I had an experience that I never thought I would have. And it changed my perspective on what wellness is. I felt things emotionally that I didn't know I needed to work on. And that's when I put all my chips on the table. I didn't just get Ben, I got a family, but I also got more coaches. If you're new, read the onboarding, all of it. I've signed up with Sean to do more breathing all the way through hypnosis now. And my mental health, my anxieties, my ability to communicate people are even better than my fitness life.
I think we can agree that the training or the lifting camp, the training in general is a small part of it. And I think that people think they need accountability in terms of they just need to know what to do in the gym. And yes, while they will get that, like, it is such a small piece of the puzzle. And as the lifting camps have gone on, we've definitely noticed that it seems to be still smaller and smaller. But things like that open you up to new concepts and new ideas, and potentially give you the questions to go on the journey to answer the questions.
Yeah, I think it's huge. And each lifting camp has something different. I think.
What did this one have?
Berlin. It had a different energy because of what we were experiencing from the history here. Nobody's first lifting camp, and nobody's first, I guess it was one person meeting someone for the first time. But for the most part, we've all met each other multiple times. So the bonding was already there. We wanted to see some history of Berlin, knowing that it was going to not necessarily be Disney World. It was nice to experience that with like-minded people and not have to do it alone, but say, we've been there, we've done that, we understand it a little bit more. All the other parts of lifting camp were still there.
Good, cool. Recommend Berlin?
You have to go at least once.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Right, so Colorado, we talked about that. You now work with Sean. My next usual question is, what is the most unexpected thing that you got? But I feel like you answered that. But if you had to pick one, what is the most unexpected piece of this puzzle over the past 2 years?
I'm facing fears that I didn't realize needed to be faced.
Okay.
I've always had a fear of heights. We were in New York, tried to go up to a high building. It didn't really work out. I was okay with that. Lifting camp in Arizona, chatting at a table at lunch. The next morning, we're jumping out of a plane. I didn't friggin' understand why I was doing that, and it was my idea. But I brought my mindset coach. So Kara's with us. Tom and Jen and Jason. Tom and Jen, are you going to do their digital interaction together?
No.
They are America's couple.
They are. But the reason that I'm not going to is because I feel like they need to have their separate identities for it.
That's true. But they are couple goals, so
But maybe I could record 3. One with each of them and then both of them together.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I jumped out of a plane, tandem skydiving.
That would be a great way to record a podcast.
Yeah. I'll do it again if we record it.
Okay.
Facing my fears, finding the fears that I have, unlocking some of the stuff that you compartmentalize in your brain for years.
Okay. I have a question that I don't ask anybody else that is probably going to put you off. What one thing do you think that you offer the fam? What do you offer to the group? What do you bring?
I never had a word for it, but I'm kind of learning that I'm generous. Okay. And I'm not talking in a financial way, but in a way of being able to be there for people. my time doesn't mean anything to me, but my time to be able to build relationships and help other people means more to me.
Okay. My answer,
Yeah.
if you were to ask me, I think the thing that I've noticed more recently is, and this is obviously through the work that you've done with Sean and Kira, is your willingness to like be the first person to be vulnerable in the questions. Like raise your hand whenever everyone's like looking at their shoes, but I'm not fucking answering that question. And I think it just takes one person to do it.
Yeah.
So you open that door for so many other people that you probably don't even think you realize you do.
No, I didn't realize that.
Well, now you do.
I think it's important to share. Why, I don't know, because I'm a pretty private person, but this 2 years ago, I would have never done this.
No.
There's no need of this.
Me either.
2 years from now, we will.
2 years from now, we'll be in space somewhere on a fucking Arjune's balloon.
Yeah, no. Dave Boyd will make AI do it for us.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to share in this group.
Well, no, you don't. And you'll never be forced to. But I think my thing with that is the thing that I notice about the people who form the deeper bonds or get the most out of the experience or get the best result, whatever that is, if it's physical or mental or whatever, are the ones that do. So there's no pressure ever to.
True.
But the people who do definitely get more. Like you mentioned about the people who have been here before. The people who have been here before, that have met each other before, that already have that bonding experience, have that because they've put themselves out before. And some people who don't come, fine, you don't have to come.
No, I think that's a great point. You get out of it what you put into it, but you're able to go all in. And you can take the fitness part, you can take the nutrition part, or you can take whatever's there. And I think being able to make relationships and have those, I didn't know how. I thought they were good relationships. I didn't know how good they were until recently.
I'll quote Sean on that. Take what you need and leave what you don't.
Yep.
So I feel like we need to talk about it because you've mentioned it a couple of times. You didn't know how good the relationships were until recently.
Yeah. So my mother threw a surprise 50th birthday party for me.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the Orlando lifting camp, and I told you, I think something's going on. I have no idea, but there'll be 5 people there. This is not going to be a big.
I think your words to me were, there are only 5 people who know when my birthday is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
So on a typical year, I will get texts from 5 people for my birthday. I don't advertise it. It didn't seem important, but when I turned 50, it kind of was like, wow, only 5 people. Not knowing what you knew, this given Saturday shows up and plans are made for me not to be at my house, and I show back up and there's some people there, and I'm like, oh, well, it's more than 5 people. And then all of a sudden 4 people come around the corner, and it's you, Justin, Mike, Todd, and Andreas. And I'm like, wait, 2 people just flew halfway around the world. Someone flew halfway around the country. Mike Todd barely leaves Boston, so 90
let release for the day.
90 miles. And there was 43 other people there. I learned that people care about me. I learned that people want to spend time with me. I didn't turn around and leave because of the work I've done through here. I really feel if that had happened 2 years ago, I would not have been able to appreciate and take in that it was about me.
Well, your heart rate was 180 BPM for about 3 days.
Yeah, so my Apple Watch has stopped going off. It was a lot to take in, and had I not done the work, I don't think I would have been able to appreciate it.
Okay. Your mum gave a speech at the start.
Yeah.
That was an emotional roller coaster for me.
Really?
Yes.
It was a little difficult to get through.
But you did?
I did.
So tell us.
I've been through a bit. There was a time in 2011 when I was diagnosed with cancer and had to go through chemotherapy, and she brought up a point when she remembered I tried to get steps in, and at that point my steps were with a cane getting down her driveway and not being able to get back up. And just reflecting on that versus now.
What work, like you literally, I remember specifically just after that, or a couple of hours after that, you mentioned like, looks like me and Sean have some more work to do. What does that process look like?
I don't know yet. There's the feeling of people being there for me was uncomfortable. There's also some emotional toll that I think the cancer treatment took that I haven't dealt with, that I didn't realize was still there, that's probably not allowing me to fully embrace what's ahead.
So good luck, Sean, with that one. Right, talk to me then about today, specifically in the gym. Well, today and Thursday, we spent some time sort of taking a step back with a lot of movements, like trying to focus on your connection with yourself. Where are you at with that?
Again, more work to do.
Sounds like over the past 2 years you've just got more problems and more work to do and more questions left unanswered.
But I feel better. My struggle right now is I do the exercise, I do the movement, I get through it, I feel a little stronger. But people talk about this isolating the muscle. And when we were in Ireland for Belfast last year, Helmy was like, oh, he spent the entire day talking about, remember, you're thinking about this muscle, isolate it and work it. And I was like, I don't know what the frig he's talking about. I don't understand this. Like when you say tighten your glutes, I'm like, okay, I'm tightening my glutes and there's nothing going on. So that brain muscle connection, I guess, needs to be trained, and I've never worked on it. So we had progress today. Mm-hmm. That's what lifting camp's about. Mm-hmm. I've been amazed at how easy it's been to do this virtually. Lifting camp helps. Tyler rubs my back and I feel the muscle. But the videos we share, and I think since you brought Lorena in, and while she laughs at my form, she also comes up with a picture with like more words on it than I know how to explain, but every movement of every part of my body and what I'm doing wrong, and also how I can counter that. So again, it's not just you're the leader, but you've brought other people in to assist in things that you might know about, but you're not the expert in.
I agree. And I think to the point on that, because I don't just pick them at random, like it's things that I notice that I struggle with. Like I work with Kira on a one-to-one capacity, work with Sean, and work with Lena in terms of helping my mobility. So it's not a case of I'll just pick a fucking random. Like if they have been vetted in some way, shape or form to know that it's the right person for the job.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, the quick fire questions. Avocados or no?
Avocados all the way.
All day long. You're holding out for the 5-year mark so you can get the guacamole recipe. It doesn't exist.
I'm on the long haul for the recipe.
For what brand of, I have to do these off the top of my head because I don't have my computer in front of me. What brand of air fryer do you have?
Frigid Air, because I bought the air fryer in the oven.
Nice, good. So sacking off one utensil and just having it all in one thing.
You can put 4 turkeys in there.
Nice, good. Oats, cooked or uncooked?
Prior to meeting you, I'd never had uncooked oats. I would be like, who the hell eats that shit? Hot oats are more of a dessert to me now. Cold oats in the morning.
I guess we should talk about that because I was thrown off. Like this is how, like how much it's ingrained in me to eat cold oats. We went to a place for porridge a couple of days ago, and I was like, blueberries, that's what I usually have, like I'm in, and it was fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I was surprised, as if like, what the fuck?
It was very hot. It was good, but I hadn't had hot oats in a while, and I realized it tastes more like a dessert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Goldilocks and 3 bars. Tacos or sushi?
I gotta go tacos.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're general consensus is because of breakfast tacos, we don't have breakfast
sushi does not sound exciting.
No, but maybe it is, and maybe there's a niche there. That's the $1 million idea.
We'll find out in Japan next year.
If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Hack squats.
Psychopath. Would you rather do 100 push-ups, 100 burpees, or 100 squats?
Squats.
Also psychopath. If you are describing We Hack Health to someone, what do you say?
This is a hard one because I do explain it a lot.
You give a different answer every time?
I really do. I start with I have a virtual coach, but it's more than that. He has a bunch of clients. We're all cybersecurity adjacent. Everybody's a high performer. Everybody's highly stressed. We've reversed our stress in our work lives to be stress in building muscles, building better people. It's a community. And then I talk about we vacation together 5 times a year somewhere in the world, and then the conversation starts.
That's a pretty accurate way to do it. What one thing do you know now that you wish you knew 2 years ago or beyond? Like if you could go back to Randy, previous version of Randy.
That I'm loved and appreciated.
I agree. And I don't necessarily know that you even realize to the extent.
I got to work on it, but
you do.
I'm starting to.
Yes, agree. What do you want for We Hack Health?
I wish everybody could experience the changes I've had in 2 years and the changes that I anticipate having in the coming years.
For the next 3 until you get the guacamole recipe and fuck off?
Yeah. No, I've tattooed it on my body, so I think I'm here for life. This is my community and I want it to thrive. I don't see any stop to it. I don't see it. I don't see how it can stop. It's a movement. It's not. It's a living organism somehow.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
So we talked about my mom. I think we need to talk about your mom because there's something.
Hold on, I'm asking the fucking questions here. No, go ahead.
It's a client takeover.
Okay, yeah.
Your mom and my mom are very similar women. Been through a lot. Badass women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
we should ever introduce them.
I don't know that the world could take if they met each other because they're really going to like each other and they're going to fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
Love your mom. Belfast gave me a look at why I like you so much. And it's not only who you are, but who your family is that made you who you are. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about what it was like to have Belfast and present your family to us.
I think the Belfast event for me, it was almost like the full circle, almost like it was you guys coming into my world, and not in a planned way, but there were places where I was like able to tell stories about close to where we were staying is where I grew up, and then the infinite amount of jobs and places that I worked. Even going back to Gymco, like where I started coaching, like there was a lot of moments in time within that event that I was like, for me, it was able to recognize how far I've come since started coaching, which I think, as we all know, I don't really do a lot of. There are moments I'm like, fucking hell, look around and be like, okay, right, yeah, I've definitely progressed in some way. Having my mum there, it was good in a sense, and I don't necessarily know if she definitely gets it more, but I don't necessarily know if she fully gets it, because whenever she tells people what I do, I have no idea what she says, but to be able to bring her into that space and for her to meet everybody and essentially be able to host and be as involved in it as she was. Like, it was a special moment, and then to be able to sort of even bring her to Phoenix, and obviously we'll be in Belfast again. Like, I think the general consensus is that the Belfast event will be a once a year thing. It was good. It was I definitely was, I guess, almost less, I felt like there was less pressure, but more pressure all at the same time. But yeah, it was definitely a moment of pride to be able to have everybody there. And it was cool as well, because it's like, I try and know as much as we're willing to have a conversation about with everybody's life, but that was literally like, you're in my family now. It's like, this is a family, but this is my family, and now you're a part of it.
Well, it was funny because you told me after the fact, when we were in Orlando, Grace was there, and she brought a card from your mom because she knew it was my birthday from a conversation we had in Belfast.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh no.
Yeah,
I know a secret.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so Grace gave the card, and I was like, but how does mom know? Like, I know how she knows, but I thought she knew because I had told her that I was coming over, and I was like, she's going to ruin the surprise. He's going to be on it. But I think probably to your point, like, it gave everybody more of an insight to me, like why I do things the way that I do, or why I am the way that I am, because she was there. Because I can hand on heart say I wouldn't be this version of me if it hadn't been for her.
It was fun to watch you, because you could tell you were a little nervous at first. But the night that Kay and Harper came over and everybody was there, you were in your zone. You were you. And to see that interaction for me was a validation that I picked the right guy. Because, you know, my family's the first thing in my life. BC Fam's become part of that community. And I know when you're all in, I saw it there, and I know what I was hearing was actually acted on.
Yeah, it was, I'm excited. I know that when I'm not get ahead, but I'm excited for this year again.
I am too. I don't think I will ever miss one.
Good.
Even if I have to sleep in the sauna.
You can sleep in the gym, it's fine. What advice would you give to someone who is struggling with physical, mental health, that's on the fence, that's listening to this? Like, what's your advice to them?
There's somebody for everybody. You're not alone. If it's not BC Fam, there is something else out there. But it's not a bad place to give a call, because the resources that you have, someone may not be looking for fitness. They may be looking for mindset. They may be looking for just movement. You and I have had this conversation a lot. Just for me, it's not about being strong. It's about being able to touch my toes. 2 years ago, I couldn't touch my toes. Mm-hmm. I want to do that at 70. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're struggling with anything, you're a guy that people can reach out to, and you can point them because of the networks that you have. And if you join, you're going to have a good time anyway. So you get a lot.
You're not getting the guacamole recipe.
5 years. Do I get a Rolex at 25 years?
Yes.
All right. I'll still be around. Yeah, no. I think it's important for people to not. I felt alone. After the past 2 years, but especially the work I've done for 2 years, but especially after the last 3 weeks, I don't think I can ever feel alone ever again. Because I'm not.
No, definitely not. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
No problem.
For everything.
No, thank you for going all in, like for being that vulnerable person, willing to do the work, even doing the mumbo jumbo fucking hippie shit, because I do realize that a lot of people do see it as that. And there is value in it. I know sometimes when I talk to people, they're like, this guy is maybe not the guy for me, but it's nothing that I haven't done myself, or tools that I don't use, and I know they're beneficial in some way, shape or form. As I said, you're such you are a pillar of the community because of the work that you have done, and it's not that you did it for that reason, you did it for yourself. And I think that people see that within you, whether you recognize it or not. Like, people wouldn't share what they do if you didn't share what you did. And I think that is, for me, what this is about. It's about, whenever I say that the community plays such a big part in it, this is exactly what I mean. It's like, I can't be all of you. I can only give my perspective and my experience, but the things that you do and the things that you're willing to share and everybody else is why I see We Hack Health and the community and the success that they have from everybody else.
Thank you. What I do is just coming naturally, and yes, I did thought it was hippy dippy shit.
Well, it is.
And it is, but it works. I think one of the things that we work on is there's science behind it. And I think once you know, if you're inquisitive, once you kind of know that and can look into it, it helps. But yeah, it all in.
Good. One last question. Favorite lifting camp and favorite moment?
Favorite moment. Can I add a most life-changing moment?
You can do whatever you want.
Colorado was a life-changing moment. Favorite lifting camp was Belfast. Favorite moment. That's hard, which is a good thing. I gotta say, jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, fair.
An experience I never thought I would do. I don't know that I would do it again unless it was with Thomas and Jen, but their kids have to go this time.
It's going to be a big plane. Everybody's jumping out of it.
I guess that would probably be.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, will we go and get a burger and an ice cream?
I'm ready.
Thanks for listening.
Damn.